Good morning, everyone. Welcome to an episode of Coffee Break with Card, La Hora del Cafecito Sister Show. My name is Lourdes Quiñones, and I would like to welcome you to the show. Come on in. Sit down. Let us know if you're drinking a cup of coffee with us. Coffee Break with Card is a program dedicated to all those in our community who are living with autism, to their family members, and to all those who support them. So come on, sign on over there in the boxes below, and let us know. Like I said, if you're drinking a cup of coffee with us, we'd love to say hello to you. In today's program, we'll be interviewing Alex Gonzales, a young leader in our community. He is a self-advocate and the advocate of those with disabilities here, youth with disabilities in the state of Florida. And he comes to talk to us about the journey that led him to his involvement in the Florida Youth Council, and also to tell us about what the council is, what they do, and all that important work that they do. The purpose of this interview is to encourage other young people with autism and other disabilities to engage in this council and or to see the possibilities and the importance of self-advocacy and of advocacy work in general. So be sure to join us. We have a lot to talk about. But before we get started, let's start out by introducing you to your coffee hostess, coffee break hostess for today, me. And as I mentioned before, my name is Lourdes Quiñones, and I am a card consultant here assigned to the primary age group. And professionally, I am a pediatric physical therapist as well as a special education teacher. My colleague, Jasmine Castellano, could not join us today as she is in another meeting this morning, but she'll be back next episode, God willing. And as you know, Olivia McDonald is currently on maternity leave, so I send them both a big hug and say hello to them. I am joined by our guest, Alex Gonzales. Buenos dias, Alex. Good morning. And as I said, Alex is with the Florida Youth Council. But before we get started, we want to review the rules by which we want to adhere, as we usually do during this programming, to ensure a safe environment for all of us. So be sure to keep an open mind, maintain a positive attitude, and use respectful language. And let me see before getting started if we have any names or at this time. Up. Yep, there's our usual. Hi, Chris. Hi. Oh, yep, there's our friend Jazz. Yeah, there she is. She's never too far away. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Just want to say hello. Again, leave us your comments and your questions, and we'll be glad to answer them while we're on the air. Okay. Um, so if you're just joining us, as I mentioned before, in today's program, we will be talking to Alex Gonzales. He's a young leader and self-advocate, and the advocate for the rights of those with disabilities, the youth with disabilities here in Florida. And he will be sharing with us about his journey that led him to this involvement with the Florida Youth Council and what the council is about and the important work that they do. And like I mentioned, the purpose of the interview is to encourage other young people with autism and other disabilities to engage with this council and to see the importance of advocacy work. Okay, so let's get started. My first question to you, besides welcoming you to the show again, my first question to you, Alex, is can you tell us a little bit about you?
So, hi everyone. I'm Alex, and I'm 28 years old. I am diagnosed with autism, and I am a college graduate. Uh, I work at Polk State College with the Student Activities and Leadership Office, as well as me working as a program coordinator with the Florida Youth Council. I graduated last year in spring of 2022 with my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I became the first person in my family to graduate college, so mom's very proud of that. And yeah, right now I am in charge of helping facilitate events for the Student Activities and Leadership Office at Polk State. And yeah, and also my work as an advocate, self-advocate, as well as advocating for people with disabilities in the state of Florida with the Florida Youth Council.
Awesome. Yes, your mom is very proud, as any parent would be. And I want to say hi to Amy Smith, who's watching, as well as Melissa Bogle. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. So tell me about the Florida Youth Council. What is the Florida Youth Council? Can you expand on that, please?
Well, the Florida Youth Council is a diverse group of leaders with disabilities that are located all over the state of Florida that want to help provide leadership and advocacy for people with disabilities. And what we strive for is to, of course, help youth and emerging leaders try to find their voice, find their passion, motivate them to advocate for themselves as well as advocating for other people, because um, it's something that we want to strive for to help bring a more positive and motivating light to bring inspiration to the people in the disability community.
Awesome. And how did you get started with them?
So back in 2012, when I met, I met a few of the members of the Florida Youth Council during the Family Cafe conference in 2012. It was in the Hilton, and what really how I stumbled upon them was that they had a booth, and uh, one of the one of the people that in the Florida Youth Council booth, his name is Josh, but his name is Josue. Josue, which he's still part of the Florida Youth Council. He was one of the first people that I met, and he was talking about like all the things that the Florida Youth Council does, and what they do. And I actually went to one of their sessions that year, and it felt like there was something that there's certain people that I can relate to and I can vibe with, because as a person with autism, I couldn't really express myself as much, or didn't really know how to express myself as much, because I didn't really know how to communicate or talk to people until I was like 4 years old, and it's kind of difficult to kind of communicate with especially like people that you want to relate to, um because my speech wasn't very it wasn't I would say very articulate, and I did struggle a lot when it comes to reading and writing, and when it comes to public speaking, because I never really had any type of public speaking experience. So it really kind of felt like maybe this was something that was not for me. But then over time, when I got used to the members, when I got used to seeing more and more people that were joining in, I felt like maybe this is the right time for me to kind of like do something, not just for myself, but like do something with a group like this. And so, in the summer of 2018, even though I did apply before for the Florida Youth Council, but this time around I actually got in the summer of 2018, and 2 years later, I became the lead member of the council, in that short span. But I also became the program coordinator. So for the last 6 years that I've been on the council, I have been into position changes. But at the end of the day, what I really wanted to do is kind of prove myself, but also prove to other people that it doesn't matter what type of disability you have. You can, if you put your mind to it, you can able to be the change, be the person that you're willing to be.
Look at that. Well, there goes your. You certainly don't have um, the communication barriers that you used to have, and so this is wonderful. So I think again, this is the opportunity that I wanted to bring to the community, to be able to see and hear from someone such as yourself, who has been on both sides um, of what is usual, an experience that a lot of parents and a lot of people with autism can identify with. So we can speak about it all along, but it's not the same as hearing it from a person who lives it on a day-to-day basis. So that's wonderful. Would you say that a lot of what are some of the skills that you have gained through your participation, skill sets that you have gained through participation in um, the Florida Youth Council professionally, I would say?
So the type of skills that I learned when I was in the Florida Youth Council was more like public speaking, because like I said before, public speaking wasn't not my it was not my strong suit, because I had really bad anxiety, and I had really um, I was very, anxious to even like talk to people, because beforehand, like I guarantee you, like 15, if this was me like 15 years ago, if this was me like 10 years ago, I was afraid to say my own name. But now, since for me, I kind of had to learn it over time and had to adapt to it, because life is all about adapting to new things, adapting to new skills. It became second nature to me, because it's like, hey, I can actually be good at this, but I don't know where to start. And so before I even joined the council, like during school, I know it's nerve-wracking to present in front of your classmates, because you don't really know what to say, or maybe you have something already planned in your head, and you kind of like don't really know what to expect from like how can you able to operate in front of your peers, because you feel like you're going to be judged, you feel like you're going to be uh, um, you feel like you're going to be um, in a position that possibility you're not comfortable with, because presenting and public speaking is a leadership skill. Like, believe it or not, it does take. I know people say that, well, it takes courage to speak in front of people, and a lot of that is true, because you really don't know what to expect, how you're able to present yourself. And for me, it did took a long time to get to that point, because I had to go to speech therapy, I had to go to group therapy to kind of like learn how to present social skills. And over time, even though I'm not a master at it, but I guarantee you I have gotten better, with the type of skill sets that I have. And so, yeah.
So yeah, so another reason why joining, besides the camaraderie, I would say between other youth, um, I would say that that's definitely worth the signing up for a group such as the Florida Council, besides the great work that you're doing. So, along those lines, is there a membership fee or cost involved for those who would wish to join um, the Florida Youth Council?
No, there is no membership fee. There um, there's nothing that costs you to be a part of the council. If you want to take initiative and being a part of the council, you can apply through our website at the floridayouthcouncil.org, and you can able to apply for an application, and we can able to do the application process. But there's no cost to being part of this group.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm going to be sharing that council the website link right now. So that people have it. So that is a wonderful thing. So there is no cost involved. So tell me a bit more about specifically what sort of things will members or potential members could look toward doing as members of the council. If they were to sign up, what sort of things would they be engaging in?
So the Florida Youth Council, we engage in a lot of civic opportunities and community events. So our main focus, usually, besides the leadership and advocacy part, we also be a part of the Family Cafe Conference, where we help facilitate the Family Cafe Conference, as well as presenting our own sessions. That's where the public speaking comes in. And we also facilitate our very own conference ourselves, which is called the Florida Youth Summit. And the Florida Youth Summit it's an annual thing that we go to the Orlando Mall and the Florida Mall and the Florida Mall and Hotel located in Orlando, and we're going to be a part of a youth-based event, which is the Youth Summit, and that's where we have a dance, we have sessions, um, we have a lot of activities that we can able to present for our attendees, as well as there is a dance for the family cafe. They do have a dance, they do have a lot of activities. Plus this year we had a club cafe, which is youth only, and for anybody that's kind of overwhelmed with a lot of anxiety and a lot of um, noise sensitivity, you can able to go to a smaller venue like Club Cafe that we did this past year, and it was a huge success because a lot of attendees, they loved it. They got free T-shirts. They had video games for them. Chess, bean bags. It was a um, much more secure space in case of people who have noise sensitivity, they're feeling overwhelmed with the exhibit hall. And I know a lot of people with disabilities, they do have noise sensitivity. They do have a lot of social anxiety. And so it's good for their emotional intelligence because it's something that, we can able to provide a much more smaller exhibit hall for the youth. That way they don't have to, they don't really have to feel too overwhelmed. And it was such a great success that we're actually bringing that back for next year's Family Cafe. And of course, for our youth summit, for the first time, we did a D&D role playing. For those of you who are into role playing, who are into D&D, we did our first ever youth summit role play D&D, and it turned out to be such a success that we got to see attendees expressing themselves for the first time. Like there was a few of attendees that they were showing their artwork for the first time to anybody, and they've able to express themselves and able to feel like they're I know it sounds vague, but they feel like they're able to be free. They're able to be free to express themselves, to be free to be happy and able to have fun. And, these are opportunities, these are conferences that you really cannot miss because this is something that I think everyone should partake in it.
I'm telling you, it's a wonderful thing that you're doing right now, sharing this um, details about what potential members and the community in general can expect at both these events, the the family cafe, as well as, which is a huge event that happens every year in Orlando, and then the summit, which happens to be at the same hotel that the card conference is takes place most years. Past few years it's been there, and it will be again this following January.
And
So yeah,
some, some important dates for those for the Family Cafe conference is takes place in the Hyatt Resort in International Drive in Orlando from June 14th to the 16th. And we're going to be celebrating our 17th annual youth summit in August 2nd and 3rd 2024, and it's going to be located at the Florida Mall and Hotel.
awesome. Oh my God, this is amazing. So I hope that our audience who is watching this is hearing reasons as to why get themselves there. Um, I know that in the Spanish version of this show, we had a mom asked about, the fact that she wanted to know if it was only in Orlando because she's from the Land Lakes area, and it was very far for her to go. And your mom, who was translating your answers into Spanish, um, was was able to tell answer on your behalf about the fact that there's some opportunities on a lottery basis that the council offers to families who might be traveling from outside. Could you expand on that? What your mom said about sometimes there is some assistance that is provided to on a lottery basis for
Yeah,
travel.
with the travel and the lottery base is for if you wanted to stay at the hotel for the entire weekend. It is a lottery base, which is like a first. It could be like a first come first serve base. So depending on how far you live from Orlando, there is an opportunity that your room can be paid off through that grant. So when there's a grant that the Family Cafe conference or the Family Cafe office has that we can able to put into the conference. And so for those of you that live like very far away, like from Miami or from Land Lakes or Tampa, and if it's troubling you that you cannot really afford, the hotel costs, there is some financial assistance that does help you, and the Family Cafe does provide for that.
Mhm. And again, the emphasis there being that it's on a lottery basis and there's not, a guarantee. But wonderful to know. So thank you. So, is there anything else you would like to share?
One thing I will say, I had to thank my mom and, of course, my dad. They have been my biggest supporters. One thing I know for sure, just a little personal backstory. One of the reasons why I feel like doing something like this, it kind of helped me was my grandmother. The reason why my grandmother is one of my biggest inspirations because she literally always cheered me on from afar, um, even though she didn't live in Florida, but she always got the opportunity to see to see my success and to my achievements and how I can able to accomplish so many things. And both my parents really motivated me to you know you know be the better version of what I am, of who I am. And so, although I've overcome a lot of challenges, I have overcome a lot of issues in the past, and although like I've had my personal struggles, but I've able to persevere and to kind of quote the late Stan Lee once said that a hero can be anybody who you want to be, and um, doesn't matter if you're doing something right, not because you're obligated to it, because you want to do it. That's what a real hero is. And both my parents are, to me, they're my personal heroes. And so one of the things that the reason why I pursue a college pursue a college degree was that I made a promise to my grandmother for a long time that I wanted to something that this was something that I really wanted to do. Nobody expected me to make it that far, unfortunately, but it happened. And I guess, like I said, if you put your mind to it, you can able to do whatever you need to do. But unfortunately, my grandmother 2 years ago she caught COVID and she passed away due to COVID-19. And um, getting the bachelor's degree was one of the last things that I promised my grandmother that no matter how long it's going to take me, I'm able to do it. And unfortunately, even though she's not here, but if she were to be here, she would have seen her first grandchild in her family to graduate college. And like I said, even though she's not here, but I really hope that she is proud of me, and that I finally fulfill that proposition. So, but just because, and like I said before, just because you might have something that you feel like it hinders you, it shouldn't matter. It doesn't matter what disability you have. What matters is that what you're gonna do moving forward. And even though you may have your struggles, you may have go through a lot of hardships and a lot of tribulations, but at the end of the day, you know, if there's something that you're passionate about and there's something that you have your heart in, then anything's possible. You just gotta make it. You just gotta make the worth. You gotta make the effort into it, because be the change that you are willing to be.
Awesome. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing those words. And I am sure that wherever she is at, watching you down from, she is so proud of you, as I know your mom and your dad are. I actually met them at a conference in Orlando. And this is how, and I met you there. This is how come you're here on the show, because I found your family to be a beautiful family, and so eloquent. And I definitely plan to interview your mom as well, because I think that she does bring that perspective of perseverance as a parent, and having to navigate so many things throughout your upbringing, that helped to set you up, to become who you became. But what you just said exemplifies that as long as people are giving you the opportunity, but you take it, and and you do with what is being given to you the other half of it. It takes that impression, from any individual to have to do that. And we have someone. We have Betty Grigoletto, who says congratulations to you. So it is true, because you have that ownership. You owned it. You did the work that it was necessary. So yeah, your family supported you and fought for you, and things were open to you. But you deserve the credit for doing the work that it took and persevering with it. So beautiful family. Hence the reason why you're here. Plus, your message is amazing, and the work that you do through the youth council is definitely worth sharing, and getting more youth to take advantage of this opportunity to belong to this group and to make a difference in our community through advocacy. So thank you so much for agreeing to come to on the air with us, and sharing your story, and sharing about the um, the youth council, the Florida Youth Council. Had a great time. And let me see if I have any more. I'm going to say hi to Amy Smith, who's watching, Melissa Bogle, who's also watching, and Betty Rigoletto, who just said congratulations to you. So thank you for being here. Wonderful interview. I really enjoy it. Before we finish, we're almost at the end. I wanted to make sure that I thank you, Alex, for being again, for stopping by, and bringing this important information to your mom, for doing the Spanish version of it, doing the translations for you. And also I wanted to remind our viewers that we come on the air every other Friday. So our next show will be December 1st, so after Thanksgiving. Hence my background. So just be sure to be here. And before I go, I wanted to make sure that I ask you once again to please take a moment to rate us, rate this type of programming. You know, this is the way that we get to justify the time that it takes us to be, produce this type of programming and to be in the air with you. I know if you have done it before, we need one of these every single time we go on the air. So please, thank you, thank you. It takes about a second to answer every one of them, and it's about six of them. So 6 seconds of your time. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for doing this. And that does bring us to the end of the show. But we didn't want to leave without saying thank you to everyone who joined us, and to you, Alex, for being here. And we hope to have you again. And we hope that your membership continues to grow every year. Okay. And again, before we go, I want to remind you to please give us a like, to share this video with those would benefit from this type of programming, and to be sure to be here every other Friday. Next time around is December 1st, around 10:45-ish, because we come on from the other show, to share a cup of coffee with us as we spill the beans on important topics related to autism. But until then, we want to wish you good vibes and hot coffee. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Enjoy your family and have a wonderful dinner or lunch, whatever your family celebrates. So thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.